and welcome back to the channel. Not on the bike today, you might have noticed. It's pouring rain. Let's not talk about the weather. So what I wanted to do is make a little video about videoing on a motorcycle, doing vlogs. When I started out, I wish I'd have had a little video of somebody that could show you how to get started, A, simply, because I've got no knowledge whatsoever, and B, cheaply as well. So that's what this is aimed at, and hopefully it'll be of use to some people. Now, first of all, little disclaimer, I am no expert, far from it. I'm new to this and I'm learning as I go along. But so I would say to you, have a look at my videos, not the first ones because they were pretty rough, to be fair, but the latter ones, because I'm fairly pleased with them. And if you think they're okay, then this setup could well be okay for you. If you're into super quality cinematic, some of them are fantastic, aren't they? Some of the channels are incredible, and that's not me. That's not the standard I'm at. But it's cheap and cheerful, and if you look at some of my later videos and you think, yeah, they're okay actually, decent quality, I can hear him, I can see what I want to see, then maybe this could be for you. So let me have a quick run through and I'll give you some of the pointers. First of all, camera wise, that's the one I chose. It's the Akaso Brave 7, as you can see. I would say this was the bare minimum that you need to make reasonable vlogs. I looked today on Amazon, because these are available from Amazon, by the way, and it's actually cheaper than when I bought it. It's £129, so 130 quid for the camera. And the microphone I use is Akaso's own microphone, and I'll come back onto that later. You have to use their own microphone. So this is the camera. This is the little Akaso Brave 7. See if you can, if I can show it you there. There it is. Twin screens, front and rear. Very light. Well, very reasonably light, but really solidly built. I mean, I was really impressed when I wondered if it would be flimsy when I got it. Compared to a GoPro or compared to the DJI, which is the other one I was looking at, really, the DJI Osmo Action. This was sort of half the price, but it's really solidly made, and I'm chuffed actually with how good it is. It's been faultless. Once a very small issue, but I'll come to that later. It's with the remote control, because it actually comes with remote control, would you believe? And I'm not using it at the moment because it's playing up. But apart from that, it's been absolutely faultless. It really has. It's been excellent. So that's the camera. I've also got here an old GoPro. This was my son's actually, when he used to film himself doing mountain biking many years ago. It's an old Hero 2, ancient, and I've got that here with its waterproof case, which they used to have. That thing, you can see the size in comparison, how small the Akaso is, but I'll show you why I've got that in a minute, because there's a reason that's there. So that's the camera. The camera fits inside this case. I've got the arms on it at the moment, but you can see this is the case that holds it. So the camera simply slots in there like that and fastens up like that, and that's the setup you have. Now, there's two issues really with vlogging that I've found. Number one issue is, how do you get this camera onto your helmet? How do you get any camera onto your helmet securely, in the right position and safely? That is number one. But an even more difficult problem, probably technically, is to get the sound right, because obviously what we're doing is we're vlogging, so we've got an external microphone, sorry, from the camera inside the helmet, and we're trying to get good sound. Now, I used to work with microphones years ago. It's irrelevant, but with singers and bands and things, and the environment inside a helmet for a microphone is probably the worst you could imagine, really. You forget about acoustics in a room, it's horrendous. There's a lot of noise, you're very close up to it. So those are the two issues. It's mounting it, and it's the microphone. So first of all, with the mounting, what I did was, it's very good because the Casso I'll put that there, I don't even see this outside here. The Casso comes with all these accessories. There's all these in here. There's loads of ones for mounting on tripods. There's loads of these, the bolts that go through. There's lots of different arms, and there's two different mounting plates. One curved, I don't know if you can see that. One curved and one flat. Now, if you've got a helmet which will take this curved mount, you're fine. Great. If that will fit on, say, onto the front of your helmet here, I'll show you there, or maybe on the side, and then you can build an arm that comes down here to the front or wherever you want it to be. If that's the case, fine, you're away. That's the mount. That's one of the mounts that go in, and it slots in like that. Unfortunately, with me and with this, my own helmet, the Shoei helmet, Shoei, whatever, there was nowhere on the front where I wanted it that this would fit. Just wouldn't fit there, because it's got a lot of paraphernalia, it's got a lot of things going on with the helmet here. So what I did was I went out and bought this. Now, I don't know if you can see this. Let me bring it close up to the camera for you. It's got two flexible arms either side with a strip down the middle, and it's got a sticky pad, and it's got a mounting plate there which stands proud from the front of the helmet. You can see it like that. You can see it on the side there. Yeah, just about, you can see. So that avoids all the frontal paraphernalia on the helmet and mounts really nicely. So I purchased one of these. This was from Amazon. I'll give you the link, but I'm so useless with computers I wouldn't know how to put a link in. But if you put a search in for action camera chin mount, this, you'll find this, it will come up. I found this one to be the best for my particular helmet. It's great. It sticks really firmly. It's as solid as a rock. You can pick the helmet up with it. It's really, really good. The only thing with this is that this is designed to work with GoPro accessories, perhaps understandably, and GoPro adaptable accessories, ones that adapt any other make that goes with it. So what I had to do, now that's why my son's camera came in, because along with this I ended up with some parts. So luckily, two of the parts I had were these that I've got actually on the camera. One's this curved base unit here, similar to what a Casso actually give you in the kit. That's the Casso version. And then one single small arm, equivalent to this one, which came with the Casso. And so with those two, I managed to make a mount that's suitable for me. Now, if you have to go down the same route, if your helmet and you need to buy this, there are loads of packs now you can buy on Amazon very cheaply, multi-packs of various arms, which are all GoPro compatible. So they will work. It doesn't have to be actual GoPro. These are actual GoPro ones, but as long as they're GoPro compatible, obviously they'll work absolutely fine. So I'll show you how it mounts. Yeah, I don't often take this off. Let's move all these out of the way. And as you can see, it just slots in like that. Camera's going to be like that. And click, and there it is. And then the microphone cable, which I'll tell you about in a minute, just slots into the side there. Won't bother to put it in. But now, if you can see it there from the side, you can see that that gives you a situation where the camera's not in your way at all. You've got perfect visibility. It's not in your way, but I can actually see from the top here, if you can imagine, when you're looking at it, you can actually see the light on top, and you actually know that the camera's running, which is a bonus. But yeah, very tidy. I have seen quite a few setups of vloggers, very professional vloggers, make wonderful videos, but they've got cameras stuck up here, and I couldn't be doing with that. I need free vision, and this, it is basically invisible to me as I'm riding the bike. So I was absolutely chuffed with that. Worked absolute treat. And then when I come home, obviously I'll need to get the camera off. It's just a reverse procedure of just topping that off. And then I'm left, if I'm going out, I'm just left with that. If I'm going out without the camera and I'm not using the camera, it's quite a neat finish, and the cable, which is there for the microphone, just tucks behind there. Nice and neat. So there it is. That's a little setup I've used. What else was I going to tell you about that? The other thing really is the microphone. Oh yeah, I wanted to tell you about the batteries. The Acaso, you can see them here actually. The Acaso comes with 2 batteries, which is really quite generous. A lot of the GoPros used to only come with 1. And the little dock here for charging, and obviously a cable. That's a standard USB port, goes in anywhere. I've got a little, just for convenience, I've got a little old Sony phone charger there, which goes in the wall, and I have that in my kitchen in the tray, just nice and clean. And I can report these batteries are brilliant, really good. I don't know how long they last, because I've never been able to flatten one, to be quite honest. I've taken it out for the day with me. I'm not filming all day obviously, but I've filmed for 2 hours or more at a time, come back, taken them off, and they've still been virtually full, because the camera obviously tells you the battery condition on the little screen there, and they've still been full according to the gauge. So absolutely brilliant, really good. I was a bit concerned that whether the batteries would be any good, and whether they'd only work for half an hour or something, but nothing of the sort. They're superb. They last and last and last. And I've made about 17 videos now. I've never even needed both the batteries. I've alternated them, but I've never taken an extra battery out with me, because I know I'm not going to need it. So that's it. 2 batteries come with it then. Now, microphone wise, now the one thing with the Acaso brand and the Brave 7, I don't know why they do this, but they wire their microphones up slightly differently from everyone else, and that means that you have to buy their microphone. Probably gives the answer as to why they do it, isn't it, really? So that is an issue, but the microphone that's suitable for this is available on Amazon. You'll find it if you just, again, search for Acaso Brave 7 mic, and it's only £10. So it's not a rip-off price by any means. It's really reasonable. Now there's a lot of reports online when you see them being tested that the microphones are rubbish. They're no good. That is not true. They are. I used to work with microphones a lot, with bands and comparing and stuff. Anyway, it's irrelevant, but I do know a little bit about microphones. And the Acaso mic, it's a lapel mic, or a lavalier mic. Get it right. Normally, that type of mic, being a lapel mic, obviously, is designed for quite close-up work. Now, if you can imagine, that's a person's head, and a lapel, because it's literally a lapel mic, it's about here. They're usually about 1 foot, 18 inches away from the person speaking. But the Acaso one is admittedly useless for doing that. It's really not designed for that. I think, in fact, it's been designed almost specifically for use in this application, inside a helmet. I don't know if that's true, but from using it, I think it has, because it's perfectly good, but you have to have it really close to your mouth. Perfect for this application here. So I found it to be absolutely fine. I really have, and I think the sound, as long as you get the sound, it's actually where you put the mic is important. That's the important thing, which is what I'll show you next. So if you get this out of the way a minute. Now the microphone is actually fitted now in there, and the way I did it was this with the showy. I'll see if I can get it shown. The cheek pads. I've got this one's off, but you can actually see. There you go. You can actually see, and it's actually tucked up inside this foam here. Inside there, actually where the eye level is, it's right behind where my finger is there, and the cable's wrapped up in there. So that pops back on. I probably won't be able to do. There you go. So that's where the mic is, tucked away in there. You can't see it, you can't feel it. It's invisible, and it just doesn't bother you at all. It's great fitting in there. Originally, I had it outside, dangling around here, and I used a dead cat. One of these, and I had this popped in here, and this was tickling my face and all sorts going on. I've tried lots of, but I actually, once I took that pad off and hid it in there, problem solved, and it sounds better as well. One of the other things I did originally was I had it, maybe logically you'd say, down in the bottom here, so in this section, quite low down in there. Well, I'll show you on the outside, or roughly here, whereas now I've got it up here. Now, when I had it in this position, although it sounds logical because it's near your mouth, where you're speaking from, what I actually found was that because it was so close to you, it was picking up your breathing really badly from your nose and your mouth. So you were sounding like you had asthma or something. It was awful. So I found the best place to be up here in the just below the eye there, in the top of the cheek pad. You don't get the breathing problems, and it sounds really good. So there you go. Obviously each helmet's going to be best. I don't know what sort of helmet you have, but normally with helmets you can strip out these side pads, and if you need to, you can take a little bit of foam out of one of these and replace it with a microphone. Make yourself a little hole where you can poke that, and it's a lot nicer. It's more comfortable, and it's less hassle because you haven't got anything dangling around. So that's the little Casso mic that goes in there, £10, and I think it's really clear. I think it really does work nicely, as long as it's the right distance away from your mouth. It's clearly designed to be just, I'd say, within 1 to 3 inches away, rather than a lapel mic, which is a foot or 18 inches. It sounds really good. I think it's really clear, and for the money, you just can't argue. The cable obviously then comes under here, as you can see, and with this, that little strip there in between the, I don't know if you can see that, there's a little strip there, the cable actually fits inside there. I've got it under tape there, but it actually fits in there and then just hangs there and goes in the side when needed, and stays tucked behind there when it's not needed. So there we are. So that's basically the setup. It does take experimentation. One of the things you have to do is obviously experiment with the position of the camera. Now I'll just pop this back in again and get it right. Oh, I'm forever doing that wrong. There we go. Now you have to, the main problem is the tilt. It's the forward and back. It's getting the right impression on the road. It depends what you want, but it's that angle there. Obviously I'm exaggerating there, but it's that angle which is the main one, because the rest of it is just pointing forward, obviously. But you can only do it through trial and error. And when you finally got it right and you've adjusted it, the way I do it, because I have to take it off, because you actually have to unscrew this and loosen this in order to get the camera back out. Yeah, you can take the entire thing out, but you still need to open the cage, so you still need to move this. What I actually did was I made myself, where is it? I got myself a little bit of plastic like this, and what I do is I just take a how's the best way for me to show you this? I just take a little datum point from here, and where the camera is, I just marked on this piece of plastic. You can see a little scratch there. I just marked a little bit of plastic there where the perfect setting is, and that's through trial and error only. So I just carry that around with me. That's my little measuring stick. So I can also take that out with me if I need to, if I think I'm going to move the camera or take the camera off and back on again when I'm out and about and I want to do some more filming. So that's the way I got around that, so I could find the perfect position every single time. It's actually quite close to as far in as it can go, to be quite honest, but it's slightly off. So that's the way I solved that little problem. There we go. So that's what it looks like. Obviously there are better cameras out there, ones that visually have got, you know, I mean, I'm no camera expert at all, but clearly the ones that, you know, with 4K, this does 4K. I don't film in 4K, I actually film in 1080p, which I find good enough for YouTube in particular, but this will film in 4K. And I'm sure there are cameras which, if you looked at the pictures side by side, they would be better than this, of course. But to be honest, once it's been uploaded to YouTube, I think it's quite fractional. I don't think it's a huge difference, but there is a huge difference in the cost. And if you want to get into this and try it first, because, you know, no one knows whether this is going to be for them. Vlogging, they might try it, do 2 videos and decide they don't want to. So you've only wasted £150 rather than almost 500, which with expensive microphones, the DJI, the Osmo Action and the GoPro can both be around that sort of price. So I think for £150, it's a great microphone. I mean, I'm not getting anything for this at all. As you can tell, I'm not a professional at all. But I think it's a really good option. So I hope that's helped. I don't think there's anything else I was going to say. I'll soon be back out on the bike and doing another video, and that's the camera I'll be using, and that's the microphone I'll be talking into. So that's all from me. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for all the new subscribers I've had. It's incredible the amount of people who've joined along and said nice things. I really, really appreciate it, because there's a lot of work goes into this, an inordinate amount of work, and I'm loving it. I'm not moaning about it, but just to get the thanks really makes it feel worthwhile, so I really appreciate it. Thanks very much indeed. That's all from me. I'll see you again next time on the bike. See you for now. Bye.